have with us Berni, Ottjes, from all the way from Holland, Amsterdam.
Yes.
Welcome to Singapore. So you are here for the launch of L'Oreal Magie Fashion. Okay, so can you do a little introduction about yourself?
Of course. My name is Berni Ottjes. I'm an international artist for L'Oreal Professional. My passion is color, and I'm involved with all the new launches worldwide, and that's why I'm here in Singapore for the new launch of Magie Fashion.
Amazing. Okay, so I have some questions for you. Can you share with us what inspired you to join the hair industry?
Well, as a kid, all my family is in the hair industry, and as a kid I was a hair model. Bald now, but before I was a hair model, and that's how I got into the hair industry. And you know, my passion always was coloring. I was inspired by colors, movement, fading of colors, and as a child I always say I wanted to be a hairdresser. So I was 15, 16 and I started my education in the business. So yeah, I'm now 49 and look where I am. Yeah.
Amazing. So I understand you are a member of the L'Oreal Collectiff.
Yes.
And you're the global ambassador.
Yes.
So how did you get acquainted with L'Oreal, and what makes you feel like this is the brand you want to work with?
Well, when I entered with L'Oreal, it's quite like 15 years ago. I won the L'Oreal Color Trophy 4 times in my country, and then L'Oreal got interested in me and they asked me for education. That's how I ended up at L'Oreal, but it was like a mutual communication, because you know, for me it was totally new to get in the education world. So we get an agreement for a year just to feel if I feel comfortable doing education, and I really love it. And that's how my story begins with L'Oreal. And at a certain moment, I was ambassador in my country only, and now 10 years later I'm doing worldwide education, and I entered the world of the hair fashion tour. So in the global team of the hair fashion tour, Le Collectiff.
Yeah.
So Le Collectiff means that we are doing education worldwide. We are presenting all the new collection in hair cutting, styling, and in coloring.
Right. So for this, the roles that you are playing with L'Oreal, when you first started, were you already managing your own chain of hair salons back in Amsterdam?
Yes, of course. Yeah. I just started with my change of Berni's. The change that we have is Berni's. And of course, for me, the focus in the beginning was that I really want to have a good foundation with my own business before I do all the education worldwide abroad. So the first 5 years I spent really to build up my own foundation for my business, Berni's, and afterwards I started to do the education for L'Oreal. So the foundation of my own business is very important. I have a very loyal and creative team, so that gives me the space to work outside Europe.
Yeah. So I understand from a lot of fellow hairdressers and business owners that, oh, I don't like to deal with the management part of it. I just want to have fun. I just want to do hair. So when you started your own business, how involved are you with the management of your brand?
Well, you know, in the beginning I was thinking the same, you know, like, oh, let me do only the coloring, let me only doing the business. But I think business-wise, if you work on your floor, you have to know what's going on in your own business. I think looking around, managing, we all want to make money, you know, that's how it works. And I think the aspect of business still intrigues me more the years I'm getting older, because you learn, you still learn, I still learn every day, you know. But now I'm getting into the business more and more, and I think that's very important, because my partner, Danny and me, we started 23 years ago together. We built up the whole brand of Berni's, so we did it all together. Me artistically, he was the manager and the businessman behind Berni's. But the last few years we do it together, and I think at a certain point when you do education so worldwide, and I'm in the business already like 15 years doing education on stage, you know. Now I'm getting a little bit more involved, like I did here in Singapore. In the morning I did Look and Learn Masterclass, and in the afternoon we did a session, we did how is Berni Ottjes interfere with Berni's business-wise. So that means on a business view on my floor, I still work with my team on the floor. So the connection with me and my team is very close. So I know what's going on the floor. I know how when we are launching our new products, how we can expand our color service wider to all the clients in the salon. And I think it's very important that as a salon owner, you're not only managing, but you also work on the same floor with them. And I think now, the last 5 years, I'm getting into the business, and it gives me a lot of space in my own head, because now you understand much more what's going to happen, why we are going to make other profits in the salon, to gain more profit in our salon. And I think these days that's very important. Digital world changed so much, and trust me, the coming 5 to 10 years will change a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of like managing the business, you have your numbers, you have your operations, you have your staff training, and all of that. So how do you learn? Like, do you like kind of read some books, or you kind of like learn along the way?
Well, you know, I think in life, mantra in life is very important. I believe in that, and I think traveling opens for me so many ways my eyes in coloring, when I walk on the street, I see things what's happening with the consumer, you know. I think that's very important. I think your own mantra, your own ways of thinking, looking at the world on a different level, seeing different countries, colors, what's happening, you know, in the world. I think if you take that all to yourself, and then your own creativity makes new collections, make new inspiring of colors, I think that's important.
It's really important to expose ourselves to many different things.
Yeah. The exposure of yourself is very important, but the main focus starts with yourself, you know.
The desire to get better.
And everybody has your own eyes, and everybody sees things differently. But for me, it's very inspiring, traveling, seeing people all over the world, different ethnic, you know, this everywhere in the world, you know, everywhere where I come, it's different, and that makes my creativity much, much bigger.
Awesome. So I'd like to bring the conversation back to L'Oreal. So of course, chemical coloring is such a big part of our business, and the coloring that this Marjorie Fashion have just launched, what is it about this color that is different from the previous Marjorie color?
Well, it's quite different because I'm already involved longer with Marjorie Fashion. In Europe we call it Marjorie Glow. But the main thing, the difference is that we're working now with reflections in the hair, with neutralization of undertones in the hair. So especially in Asia, where we have to deal a lot of times with warm undertones like red, orange, dark yellow, you know. I think Marjorie Fashion has the proper neutralization to neutralize the undertones in the hair, so that the warm tones never come up anymore, and it gives a beautiful natural reflection on the hair. So beautiful natural reflection and neutralization on the base colors, on your natural color, and on pre-bleached parts in the hair, it gives a beautiful reflection of color pigments.
So, so you mentioned it's not called Marjorie Fashion in Europe, but it's called Marjorie Glow. So is the content sort of different to cater to the Asian market or the European market?
Yeah, maybe it is, but I think it's just a name change, you know, nothing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I also understand that you are a very confident presenter when you are on the stage presenting the collection, and a good educator, entertaining, humorous. So I'd like to ask you, the very first time you have to make a presentation to a huge audience, do you actually get stage fright?
Yes. The first years I started to go on stage, I was nervous, my English was not that good, I feel very nervous, I'm very honest about that because it's learning, it's practicing, confidence comes with the years, so of course I was nervous, and if I have audience of, sometimes I have 150, sometimes I have 3,500 people on the stage in front of you.
Wow.
So that's quite a difference. But I think you always have to have the nerves, because I think that makes you focus well, and every time you have to present a collection or you have to present something, and you have to keep that, because that makes you just going strong.
Yeah. And how do you deal with the stage fright the first few times?
Well, I learned that in the beginning I could be very chaotic, because I wanted to have control about everything. Now, the last years, you're much more relaxed because you delegate more. Yes. I'm not the only one. Maybe I am the one on the stage, but behind you, you have your assistants, you have the team that helps you, and I think together you are strong, because I have people around me who are my left and my right hand, and that's very important. Yeah, it's not only me. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Teamwork is so important.
Team building is very important. Yes, trusting.
So when we are doing presentation on the stage, I think communication is something that's really important. So, do you receive any training in this area, or you just get on and learn?
Yeah. When we are in Holland, in our education team in Holland, we get trained by actors, we get trained by business people who are on the top of a big chain. So in Holland it's very important that we are trained very well. So that's why we are stronger and stronger, because we get from different angles. We got trainings by an actor. How do you present yourself on the stage? How do I come over more confident? Those things are very important. And then the business things, from business friends from different chains who doesn't have to do anything with the hair industry, It gives you a quite open mind about, yes, a much broader perspective, and that makes you stronger as a hair artist on the stage. Yeah. Right. That helps a lot. Yeah.
So it's not entirely hopeless for hairstylists if they really want to explore being on the stage, but they're always, negotiating with their own confidence. So there are ways to get over that.
Yeah, but you have to learn, and you have to be open, and you have to willing to learn. And if you are open, willing to learn, everything comes. But the main thing is that it needs time, yeah. And some people, yes, and experience. And some people, you need the time to explore that confidence, yeah.
So on top of your head now, can you share with us a few do and don'ts when you are on the stage?
Well, I think never take one pose on the stage. Try to talk with your hands, that you make a story of it, It makes you much more comfortable when you using your hands to, a little bit like acting, and the most thing is charisma. It's very important. But just be yourself, be honest, just be yourself. I think that's the power that you have. And some people have it more than another one on the stage, but I think charisma is very important. But just be yourself. I think that's very important.
Right, great. Thanks for the brilliant tips. Okay, so this would be, so I went to Berni's website and I got my Dutch friend to help me with some translation about your stories, and I picked up this really interesting sentence that you made about yourself. You started experimenting with your own hair at the age of 14 years old.
Yes. Oh.
And your father was ashamed of you. So now that you've spent a few more decades after that, what's the relationship with you and your father now?
Well, listen, I have a lot of hairdressers in my family, but my father and my mother are not hairdressers. My aunt, my nieces, my uncle were all in the business, but my parents, no, not.
And so that's not surprising. So he's not stranger to the hair and beauty industry, but why was he ashamed of you?
No, he was not ashamed of me, but because I'm the oldest son in the family, my father is really like a football player, So when I came on the age of 14 and I said, well, I bleached my hair and I wanted to go to the hair salon, my father was, okay, bleached hair on the age of 14 and then going to the hair salon. For him it was, totally different thing, but he was not ashamed of me or not ashamed about, I think it was like a family thing, the oldest son, father plays football, son goes to the hair salon.
He had a different expectations in his head.
Well, maybe he does, but now he is very proud, Now he understands the world much more better. I take him to events and now he is so proud that, I just talked to my friend Sonia today and he reposts everything I post on my social media.
He's your biggest
so,
fan.
yeah. My parents are very cool, yeah.
Amazing.
But I understand, I'm 49, like 35 years ago when your son, it's a different world then, So now it's much more easier, the world is much more free, you can do anything you want. I was very modern in that time when I was 14 and I had my hair bleached and blue, So it's a culture shock for your parents, but yeah, no, they are very cool, they are very proud and I'm very lucky I have them as my parents, yeah.
And as well, I understand being able to perform on the stage was actually a dream for you.
Yes, I always knew as a little child that I wanted to be a hairdresser and not a normal hairdresser, I always had dreams about being on stage. I'm very competitive in L'Oreal Color Trophy. I won that 4 times. Then I entered the world of the coiffure awards, like Holland's Hairdressing Award. I won that 3 times and I'm in the Hall of Fame now. So I think when you really want to reach your goals and you're open to learn and you're willing to learn and to grow, you can reach everything.
That's very, very good advice. So now that you have fulfilled most of your dreams, what's the next challenge that you gave to yourself?
Well, I had a bucket list. I wanted to go to Australia to travel around for a few months. That's still on my bucket list, but very busy now. One thing on my bucket list was that I wanted to do a worldwide campaign, but I did 2 times. I did one in Paris and I did one in New York. So, well, you always have to have dreams, and it's not only in the industry because,
Personal life.
Yes, personal life is very important because balance in life is very important. That means that you don't have to choke up all your life in the hair business industry. So I like to travel, I like to...
Before I let you go, I have 8 questions here.
Yes.
And these questions are totally non-hairdressing related. Just something fun and let our fellow hairdressers and colleagues know a little bit more about you. Okay, so number 1.
Okay.
Number 1 to 8. Maybe you can choose 3 numbers. Number 1 to 8.
Yes.
You can choose 3 numbers. Yeah.
I choose 1, 3 and 5.
1, 3 and 5. 1, 3. 3 is a very popular question for some reasons. Okay, so let's go with the easiest first. Okay. Would you recommend one Instagram account to follow?
One Instagram follow?
Which account? It can be anything, lifestyle, travel, food.
Berni Ottjes, Instagram.
Of course. I'm already following your account, by the way. Okay, and the next question. Okay, this is a fun one. First thing in the morning, phone first or pee first? First thing in the morning, phone first or pee first?
Phone.
Phone. Okay, I'm with you on that. It's
Phone
so
on
hard.
on the toilet.
I know. Okay, this is the last one. Now is your opportunity to thank or apologize to one person.
Oh, apologize. it's not being apologized. I'm sorry that my grandmother didn't see what I reached already now, you know. Sometimes she passed away too early and she was very close to my heart, and I would, it would be nice that, you know, sometimes I interfere her more when she still was alive in my work, but at a certain age you are only busy with yourself, you know, doing your own things that you think you are important. But now on the age of 49, sometimes you think, well, you know, sometimes it's not apologize, but I know she's there, so I think that's a good,
be very, very
that's a
proud
good
of you.
role. Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Welcome
Thank
to Singapore
you,
again.
thank you.
And I hope you have a good time.
Oh, I love Singapore, really, really, really. I'm very glad to be here. Nice people, good food, and good energy, so that's good. Yeah.
Definitely. Awesome. Thank you very much. Bye guys.
Thank you.